Russian tank graveyard, amazing image of destroyed armored vehicles dumped on the streets. Putin's devastating military losses are continuing to pile up as new satellite images reveal the scale of destruction wrought against Russian tanks. Drone images have revealed huge graveyards of the charred and mangled military vehicles, with broken guns and howitzers also dumped in the field. Ukrainian intelligence carried out reconnaissance flights over the embarrassing military scrap heap located 10 miles inside Russia. A previous satellite image taken on February 24 shows an untouched green field with no military equipment in view. On March 17, only a few vehicles were dumped there, but now 57 destroyed military hardware is on the site at Golivchino village. Among the damaged equipment are 17 tanks, 7 self-propelled artillery guns including MSTA mobile howitzers, 2 S-3 Akatsiya guns, mechanized bridges, armored fighting vehicles and 2 tank recovery vehicles, according to The Sun. The Ukrainian team commander said the haul of equipment had been taken to the village for repairs but it had been abandoned there. It is believed they had been deployed to the Sumy region in northeast Ukraine before Putin ordered his humiliating retreat to focus on the Donbass in his botched invasion. He said, "All the Russian vehicles that come to Ukraine will end up in a place like this. It is a tank graveyard. A cemetery." Ukraine's armed forces claim they have destroyed 829 Russian tanks, 2,118 armored personnel carriers and 393 artillery systems. A Ukrainian intelligence source said, "The fact these tanks have been left behind in Golivchino tells us they are no use to Russia." Sam Cranny Evans, from the Rusi think tank, added, "They are positioned somewhat haphazardly, as you would expect for vehicles that are unable to move under their own power and that are in need of repair." Other footage taken this week in the horror town of Bucha showed at least a dozen destroyed tanks and armored vehicles. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, AFU, also reported yesterday that the Russian military death toll had risen to 21,000. Though Russia's armed forces outnumber their Ukrainian counterparts and have more equipment and machinery at their disposal, poor tactical decisions have been preyed upon by Ukrainian fighters, who have used their anti-tank and anti-aircraft weaponry to great effect. Western officials even said this week Putin's forces are being ritually humiliated in Ukraine, but cautioned they are still in a position to win the war. Moscow's troops failed in their initial invasion objectives to seize Kyiv and install a puppet government, with Ukraine inflicting a series of humiliating defeats on them. The turnaround has come after a general known as the Butcher, who is a veteran of the Syrian campaign, overhauled the performance of the Russian advance. Western officials credited the reversal in Russia's fortunes to General Alexander Dvorokov, who was made overall commander a fortnight ago. His takeover followed Russia's failure to seize any major cities, its retreat from Kyiv, and the loss of thousands of troops and hundreds of aircraft and tanks. Since then its use of drones, rocket systems and electronic warfare has been transformed, potentially providing Putin with a platform to claim victory. This is a new chapter of the campaign and, despite his previous failures, Putin is still in a position to win, an official said. Russia has concentrated sufficient force that if they use it intelligently they should be able to destroy a large part of Ukraine's forces. Officials now believe that with such a numerical advantage, and more effective leadership, the Russians will be difficult to dislodge from the territory they have won. but they said that many of the Russian units now targeting the east of Ukraine and the Donbass region had not had time to properly reconstitute after receiving a mauling in the failed advance on Kyiv. As a result, they were being fed into the new phase of the war in a piecemeal fashion with limited impact, taking relatively small amounts of terrain. Meanwhile, footage obtained yesterday shows a Russian tank being blown to smithereens by a Ukrainian anti-tank guided missile fired from almost 3 miles away. The video from the 128th Mountain Assault Brigade, a formation of the Ukrainian ground forces, shows how the tank is caught in the missile system's crosshairs before the projectile soars through the air and meets its target.